Hello and welcome back to my Duckburg Toy Box. I'm Professor Toybox, and accompanying me once again is Donald Duck. Since we met last time, I've added the fence along Scrooge McDuck's property over there at Killmotor Hill and filled that in. And I filled in the sidewalk here along the bay. And these are the parts I skipped last time for the interest of time. And over here, we filled in the rest of the sidewalk through this way, and it's looking pretty good. So today, we're going to work on Scrooge's mansion and the hill that it sits on over on this side of the toy box. Once again, here's a screenshot of Duckburg from the 1980s DuckTales cartoon that shows where many of the major landmarks are in relation to each other. The layout of my toy box is based on this shot. Scrooge's mansion is in the foreground at the bottom of the screen. You can see that it sits on a hill overlooking Duckburg. Here are some screenshots of the mansion itself. There's a stone gate with wrought iron letters above that says McDuck, and a wrought iron fence around Scrooge's property. Once you enter through the gate, there's a dirt road leading up to the mansion, which I always thought was kind of cheap looking compared to the mansion. Anyway, there's a decorative fountain out front. The house itself is white with what looks like Bavarian wood accents and a red roof. To the left of the mansion, there's a landing pad where a helicopter can pick Scrooge up or drop him off. So as we get started over here, I'm going to start on the back side of this toy box. And we had put down a couple of episodes ago the terrain. So we got this large block and this smaller block here. And so I'm going to pick that up and put it back down and drop another one over on this end of the block. And I'm starting on the back side because I'm interested in the road that's going to lead off that corner of the town. The road that leads up to Scrooge's mansion. And so I want to make sure that the road lines up here with everything that I want to put in. So we're going to put a small grass block there, and then this one is going to be our cobblestone texture. And I know in the cartoon it was a dirt road, but I think just to kind of keep it consistent looking, we'll stick with the toy box terrain style for the road leading up to the mansion. And now that we've got it on this style, we'll go ahead and add the road up. And we'll need to stick another block under there to plug that gap. Let's see, that's the one we want. And then we'll need one up at the top. And I'm going to put another block here, and this will be grass. So we'll come back over to our Metroville cityscape and set that to be our texture, and the rest of the blocks we put down will be this style. Man, that's taking a while. There it goes. Okay, so now that we have the road leading up to the mansion, we can put in the rest of the hill around the road. So we'll start with the grass on this side of the road, like so. Oops, wrong way. And we'll put some terrain blocks underneath here in a little bit to plug these gaps, but right now I just want to get the shape of the hill in here. It's so touchy. There we go. And we'll put a smaller half width on this hill on this end, because I don't really have enough room to go all the way to the end here. That's as much as I've got room for. And now to fill that little weird gap, we'll come over to this hill, and that piece matches the slopes on both sides. So now we've got our hill blocked in. Now we can put the terrain underneath it. And I don't really want to leave any gaps here, because the player can fly around this in a helicopter, so I'd like the cliff walls to come all the way down. And so I think that's really important. So this will be the bottom edge that matches up with the block over there underneath the city. So we'll need a taller one to go here. And then this one can fit underneath that, like so. We can put another one over here. There. So now that blocks in the hill pretty well. We'll go ahead and plug a few more of these gaps. So we're going to need one underneath here, like this. Need one under there like that. And I think that should do it. And so that it doesn't look quite so blocky, we'll put a finishing edge on this now. And I'm actually going to come over here because the curved piece that I need isn't going to quite fill this section. So we're going to need to put a little bit of filler in here, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment. I think that's what we got to have. So as we come over to our curved pieces, we're going to start with the front section here along this wall. And now that kind of matches what we had put earlier on the other side. And we'll put a little corner piece in here. You can see now why I needed that little bit of filler. And then the shorter curved block will fit right in there. And we'll put a couple of these along this edge, which will give that a nice finish. So that looks pretty nice. And then over on this side, this looks kind of square here, and I could fill this in and line that up along there, but that's going to take a little bit more memory than I'd really like to use. And so we'll kind of make this look a little bit nicer, a little less blocky on this end. For that, we'll need some ledge pieces. And we'll start with this corner piece. This one can fit right over here like that. We can put this one in over here. And to kind of cover up this seam over here a little bit, we'll go ahead and put one of these up on this end, like so. And that kind of hides that seam, which is a good thing. And let's see, reviewing my screenshots here. Yeah, let's go ahead and put another one over on this side. This will cover up a little bit of that seam. And then I want to put another one right over here. And I think I actually want to push this over as far as I can in this direction. We may adjust that a little bit, but that'll cover up the bulk of those seams. That also gives a little bit of a backyard to the mansion when we go and plug that in. So now we've got the hill, we've got the road going up to the hill. Now let's go ahead and put in some of the features here. We'll start with the mansion itself. So up under the buildings drawer, the closest thing I have found is the Roar House from Monsters, Inc. That looks most like Scrooge's mansion. It's not exact, but it works. And I'm lining up the grass over here on the left edge of the road leading down to town. So that I think that is about the best we can do. And it's on as far back as I can go. Now the colors aren't quite right here, but fortunately we can customize this. And so as we open this up, I'm going to change the look of this. Let's try basic walls. It's taking a moment to apply. And that gets us to some white walls and the reddish roof, and I think that looks pretty good. That looks a lot like Scrooge's mansion, at least enough for our purposes. Now going up to the mansion, we have the gate, and the closest thing we have to that wrought iron gate is the Monsters, Inc. gate. It doesn't say McDuck on it, but well, it'll have to do, I think. And I want to grab my screenshot here to make sure I put this in the right spot. I want to put this out as far as I can off the edge of this without going too far. This might be about the best we can do. We can maybe go off a little bit more. Then the front edge of that is kind of hanging up in the air. So I think we'll try it here first. And we don't have a wrought iron fence that we can use to put around this. The closest thing that we've really got are the Asgardian railings. So we'll just go ahead and use those. That would be these pieces. So we'll put one there. Put one along this side. Let's see, does it line up better? I guess it doesn't really matter. Lines up the same either way. But this puts in a nice fence around Scrooge's property, which is good. So I like that. And we can add in a few more decorations. So we've got those flower beds that I was over on here earlier. We could put, let's see, we'll put them along this end. It'd be kind of weird to cover up that driveway. So we got them like that. We could throw one on here, but that looks kind of like a driveway. So I think I had done this before, but I'll leave that off because that does look kind of weird. And we need a few trees. So the Metroville trees that we're using everywhere would be the best to use. That way the style is consistent with what we've been using. And we'll put one here. And let me just kind of review my notes. We don't want to put too many big ones over here because the helicopter landing pad has got to go over here. And actually, we should probably rotate that a little bit so it's not too repetitive. We should put some smaller trees over here around the perimeter of this, like that. And to kind of break things up a little bit, we'll put some trees down over here along the front of the property. And I think I'll put some small ones over here. So maybe like that. Then a larger one. Like so. Another little one, and they don't have to line up exactly, but now that's not going to sit there, so that's got to come out a little bit, or I rotate it like that. So that adds some visual interest, which is good. And for the helicopter landing pad, we'll use the racetrack pieces. And there's an intersection piece right here that will work pretty well. It's a nice square piece. And I'm going to drop this over here about like so. And for the texture, the Dusty's Crop Hoppers Runway, I think, is probably the best bet. And once again, it's taking a while to set the texture. There. And I'm going to turn that like that. So there we go. Now we have a place for launch pad to land. Last piece we need is that decorative fountain. We'll come down to the decorations drawer and it reset. I'll just go left. I had this set to that piece, but fortunately we don't have to go too far. Once you get past the arrows, it's like the third piece. And I want to center this on the gate there. And we'll put it just like that. So there we go. That's looking really good. I think I'll put one more small tree right here, just because this needs a little something here. There we go. There's Scrooge McDuck's mansion. And now that we have that, we can work on the road. And so this other little corner of the road that we skipped last time, I now know where the sidewalk has to go. It's going to line up right with the edge of that road. Just like that. And for the building that's going to sit there, let's see, I think it might be quicker to scroll this way. Yep, fortunately we don't have to go too far. So we're going to use this, and you'll notice, unfortunately, it bumps into that hill, which means we're going to have to put it about here. So it's going to overlap part of that sidewalk. But hopefully players won't really notice that. And it'd be nice to have a good front edge on this. So put a couple of those on there. And there we go. That looks pretty good. So now we have our road going up to the mansion. And the corner over here, which is looking really good. So yeah, I like this. So now we have Scrooge McDuck's mansion. I think it looks pretty good, even if we don't have some of the exact building pieces in the toy box that I would like. Next time we'll build Gyro's house in the neighborhood over here and the Duckburg Airport and put in a few finishing touches on the toy box, and then the build exercise will be done. And then we can start creating all of the little stories and adventures that make this toy box fun to play in. Meanwhile, I want to thank you for spending some time with me today and watching my video, and a special thanks to all of my subscribers for your comments and support. If you're not a subscriber yet, all you have to do is click the follow button on my blog or my photo in the lower right corner of this video so you won't miss the next episode. If you'd like to build this toy box on your own console or PC, you can find floor plans and logic diagrams on my blog that will help you out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.